Hi guys, here's this week's important stuff in Westfield. The Westfield Town Council approved the Edison Field project. Now what? The One Westfield Place developer, Streetworks, is holding a public meeting about their traffic study. I wonder how much public input is going to color the report. And what does the Westfield real estate market look like? Hi, I'm Rich Hopen. I'm the creator of this new weekly newsletter, The Important Stuff in Westfield, town, real estate, and business news that matters. I write the weekly newsletter, I make YouTube videos, and have a podcast. And I'm a real estate broker with CØMPASS in New Jersey, specifically focused on Westfield. Before I jump into this week's news, if you could do me a huge favor, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on the important stuff in Westfield. The Town Council approved the Edison Field project. Now what? After a long 16 months, the Westfield Town Council approved entering into a shared services agreement with the Board of Education to install an artificial turf field and lights at the Edison Middle School. The Edison Field project is estimated to cost $9 million. There was widespread agreement that Westfield's existing athletic fields did not meet the demand of the local athletic teams. The disagreement and debate centered on three issues. 1, should a new field be artificial turf or natural grass? 2, where should the field be located? And 3, how should the fields be used? The Town Council received professional guidance from Brandstetter Carroll, who led the strategic Parks Plan, and Speisel Architecture Group, who led the Edison project design. The council also retained an independent assessment from the engineering firm CME. The CME examined the following issues: the expense, capacity, reliability, maintenance, synthetic turf concerns, stormwater management, surface temperature, field scheduling, and field lighting. CME's report recommended synthetic turf fields, and they concluded by saying, quote, based on the demand for fields within the town and the fact that recreation teams, especially soccer and lacrosse, are currently using fields out of town for practice, and in some cases home games, a synthetic turf project is the best way to maximize field usage for both the Board of Education and recreation leagues, end quote. In Mayor Brindle's Mayor's Update, week ending November 4th, she said, quote, I personally spoke to turf and grass fields experts, as well as municipal and county recreational directors whose grass fields maintenance programs were those Westfield could emulate. Interestingly, each of them concluded that maintaining proper multi-purpose grass fields was not sustainable and mentioned that their sports teams often sought artificial turf options over time due to deterioration of their grass fields, end quote. Not all council members supported the project. Town council members David Contract and Mark Lagrippo voted against the Edison Field proposal for several reasons. Among their objections, they disagreed with CMA's assumptions on replacement and disposal costs, the lifespan of the field, maintenance costs, and playable hours. Mayor Brindle acknowledged the vote was not unanimous, and she said, quote, while the majority of the council has been satisfied with the documentation, research, and financial analysis on this project, it's no secret that not all the council members agree. But to say that our conclusions are based or ill-informed simply because they don't produce the desired outcome some seek does not make it so. There will never be full consensus on any field project because it is always safer to say no than yes. This is exactly how we got here. But with the plan now in front of us, I'm confident that we can forge ahead with a safe and fiscally responsible solution that strikes a balance between the needs of our students, athletes, and the neighboring residents, end quote. The next steps for the project include financial bonding for final project design, DEP permit for stormwater runoff, and county report on additional fields in Tamaulipas. One Westfield Place traffic analysis. The One Westfield Place project will attract people to live, to work, and shop in Westfield. And more people means more cars, and that means more traffic. The project's developer, Streetworks Development, has invited the public to learn more about its traffic report. Streetworks submitted a preliminary traffic impact study to the town, and a draft report is targeted to be released to the public over the next few weeks. The impact report focuses on 18 intersections, including the project's entry and exit points, South Avenue and Boulevard, North Avenue and Clark, North Avenue and Elm, and South and Central. Also, there will be a Facebook Live session on November 12th at 5:30 with Mayor Brindle, Chris Colley of Topology, the town's redevelopment planning firm, and John Federico of WSP, the town's traffic consultant. The link to the session is on the town's website. There will be additional sessions covering the planned construction of a Class A office building and the demand for Class A space in Westfield. The project plan and design. And those are all currently, those meetings are scheduled. So go to One Westfield Place scheduling page to attend. So what's going on with Westfield real estate? Well, in 2021, the average mortgage rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage was 2.96%. A few weeks ago, it was over 7%, the highest level in 20 years. Higher mortgage rates forced many buyers out of the market. When mortgage rates started climbing beyond 3% earlier this year, the house buying frenzy slowed down. In Westfield, there were fewer homes sold each month in 2022 than in the same month in 2021. Looking at January through November, 30% fewer homes were sold this year compared to the same period in 2021. However, the average sale price in 2022, $1,051,000, increased by over 9% over 2021, which had an average sale price of $964,000. And this is because the inventory is still super low in Westfield. In a stable real estate market, the sweet spot between a buyer's market and a seller's market has 4 to 6 months of homes on the market. So, for example, if an average of 40 homes are sold per month in Westfield, a stable market would have 160 to 200 homes for sale. For most of 2022, there was barely 1 month of inventory, and homes typically sold within 25 days of being listed. This means that Westfield, in spite of what's happening around the rest of the country, Westfield specifically has an extremely strong seller's market. It's a great time to be a seller. So in November of this year, 29 homes were sold in Westfield. 22 were single-family homes, and the others were townhomes, condos, or duplexes. So that's it for this week's news. Before I go, I wanted to tell you why I launched this newsletter, the important stuff in Westfield. When I moved with my wife and 3 kids from South Florida to Westfield in 2000, we felt as if we had been dropped to a small town movie set. There wasn't a traffic light at the busiest intersection in the center of town. Instead, a police officer stood in a painted circle with a whistle in his mouth and directed traffic in front of the Rialto movie theater and Barron's Pharmacy. And I remember Barron's had a handmade poster in the window advertising, "We repair Lionel trains." 2 years later, during a very cold winter, we ice skated on Minnewacan Pond. I remember ice skating there with the kids. There was snow flurries, and it completely seemed unreal to me. I felt like we were living in a dream, and we fell in love with Westfield. The town council issues that we discussed at the Tudor Oval block parties seem quaint today. Should the town add a traffic light at Broad and Central? Is it appropriate for our children to have a Victoria's Secret downtown? And what about the pastel-painted James Ward buildings? Today, the issues before the town council are significant and transformative. They are also complex. I thrive on digging into complex topics and then sharing what I've learned. That is what I'll be doing with this newsletter, The Important Stuff in Westfield. In addition to writing about significant real estate issues in front of the town council, I'll cover real estate trends and transactions. I'll dive into important topics in the explainer section. Some topics like the issue that I covered in this week's newsletter about real estate wire fraud will require a longer analysis, and I will link to a blog post. For example, that blog post is Cyber Criminals Are Targeting Home Buyers and Sellers, and there I discuss what home buyers and sellers can do so they don't become a victim of wire fraud like I was when I sold my house. In commuting to New York City from Westfield, New Jersey, I looked at 12 ways Westfielders commute, and I compared the time and costs. So let me know what you think of the newsletter after you read it, and reach out to me with any ideas that you might have. If there's anyone you know who would enjoy this video or the newsletter, please share this video with them. Remember, stay current on what's happening in Westfield. There are a lot of issues being discussed and decided that that are going to transform Westfield. The more informed you are, the more valuable your input. You can help shape Westfield's future. And if you have any questions about real estate, reach out to me. I'll see you next time.